In this video, I asked ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, and Gemini the exact same 4 questions. Let's compare and see who's the winner. Alright, here we have our 4 AIs. So let's get started with the category of general knowledge. And I'm going to ask each of them, what's the best time of day for productive work according to research? So let's just prompt all of them and see what happens. Alright, let's take a look at each of them. So first in ChatGPT we have a breakdown according to period of day with the message that morning is great and late afternoon, but also that there are night owls who can work late. And then kind of key takeaway that the best time also depends on everyone's personality. So no sources though, no academic research that we were asking about, but generally something that sounds like a solid answer to me. Then Claude has a very similar answer. Morning hours, circadian rhythm variations, also points out the different types and chronotype considerations with a biological clock, which is something very similar. And then there is the mid-morning sweet spot, which is basically kind of the same that they point out up here in the morning hours already. They even say 2 to 4 hours after waking here, and they just repeat 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., which will have a lot of overlap. And then individual difference. So basically it has 5 bullets, but a lot of repetition. And then it also gives a practical tip that you can figure it out on your own. But also no academic sources or any references where that knowledge is coming from. Next, let's look at Grok. Grok also has a breakdown according to the time of day, early morning or just morning hours, early afternoon, afternoon recovery, which is a dip after lunch. Also the chronotypes and the general pattern that most people experience, a daily pattern of peak, trough, and then recovery. And then it points out that the best time is not universally fixed, but hinges on individual circadian rhythms, the nature of the task, and personal productivity patterns. And other than the previous 2, Grok actually does provide us links here. For example, this one here, they're not really academic sources as far as I can tell. Let's click on it and see. So what we get is some kind of online resources. I wouldn't say that is academic, but at least it's some resource where it's coming from, so you can look up what makes sense. And then lastly, we have Gemini, which already puts the best time for productive work in brackets, because apparently that's, I don't know, not scientific to say or whatever. And it says that it's usually between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. But then it mostly points out that it's different for every person. And then it mostly gives us actually tips how to be more productive. So I would say Gemini is the one that really didn't answer the question, but just provided general advice, so very mothering in some way. So I'm gonna give Grok here 2 points, ChatGPT and Claude 1 point, and Gemini gets 0 points. By the way, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. I'm Greg and I'm a management consultant turned AI entrepreneur. On this channel, I talk about AI and productivity. So if that sounds interesting to you, you might want to consider subscribing. And now back to comparing our AIs. Next, let's look at something else that AI is very often used for, and that's writing assistance. And my prompt that I'm going to ask all of these 4 AIs here is write a concise sales pitch for a new app that predicts weather based on AI. So let's see what these 4 come up here. All right, ChatGPT says, experience weather forecasting reimagined with our AI-powered app. Get hyper-accurate, location-specific predictions, real-time updates, and insights tailored to your daily plans. Whether you're scheduling an event or planning a trip, our cutting-edge AI ensures you're always a step ahead of the weather. Forecast smarter. Download now. All right, sounds pretty good. Now let's look at Claude, which gave us a much longer answer. Let's see. Here's a concise sales pitch for an AI-powered weather prediction app. I'm not going to read this all, it's too long, but it starts with WeatherWise, your personal AI meteorologist. Tired of inaccurate forecasts that leave you caught in the rain or unprepared for sudden changes? And then it goes on with something that is not a concise pitch, but overall still roughly met the task. And it provided also numerical metrics, even though they are totally made up. That's very important for a sales pitch. So that's kind of a plus point here. Next, let's look at Grok. Discover WeatherWise, the AI-powered app that redefines weather forecasting. With advanced algorithms, WeatherWise delivers hyper-local, ultra-precise predictions straight to your device. Plan your day with confidence, avoid surprises, and stay ahead of the weather anytime, anywhere. Download now for the ultimate in weather intelligence. This is also great. This is short and has a call to action, so exactly what I'd be looking for in a sales pitch for this app. Lastly, let's look at Gemini, which also gave us a longer answer and bullet points here. So let's see. Tired of inaccurate weather apps? Weather AI powered by advanced AI delivers hyper-localized real-time weather forecasts. Key features: minute-by-minute precision. Know exactly when it's going to rain and shine, and so on and so forth. Upgrade your weather experience with Weather AI. Download now and stay ahead of the weather, always. Alright, I'm going to call this a draw and give 2 points to each of them, because each of them has its strengths. For example, ChatGPT and Grok are really short, which is exactly what you want in a sales pitch. But what I like with Claude is that it has bullets and also numeric information, which is always convincing. And then Gemini is also really short, but managed to include a list. So I think all of them are great. After round 2, we have Grok in the lead with 4 points, ChatGPT and Claude have 3 points each, and Gemini has 2 points. But everything can still change because the third category is problem solving. And we are going to look at the prompt, suggest 3 innovative ways to reduce food waste in a household. So let's ask this same prompt to all of them and see what comes out. All right, let's look at the responses. So ChatGPT has smart meal planning, creative leftovers, turn leftovers into new meals, and then freeze and preserve. Well, this answer is really short, but is not all that creative, to be honest. That's probably what I might have come up with in a brainstorming. So let's look at Claude. Claude has a longer answer and it got quite detailed here. So number 1, smart preservation technology, invest in smart food storage solutions that actively monitor and extend food freshness. And then there is a long block of text, which is a bit hard to read, but I guess that is very creative. Then meal planning and integrated tracking app, develop a comprehensive digital system that integrates meal planning. And then they come up with a bullet list. This is not proper sentences. Somehow they just have kind of bullets that then get really long and are a bit hard to read, but at least they're very creative. Number 3 is community-powered food sharing platform. Create a neighborhood-level digital platform that allows residents to trade or donate excess fresh, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, well, it's creative, but it's hard to read and it's long. And suddenly, the number 2 and 3 are bulleted, whereas number 1 is flowing text. So I wouldn't say this is super great. Then let's look at Grok. We have the Smart Fridge Management app with a breakdown of the innovation and implementation. Then AI-powered waste analysis bin, innovation and implementation. Implement a bin or compost system equipped with AI technology to analyze the waste thrown away, identifying patterns in food waste. Okay, interesting. And then community food exchange platform. I think they're not the first ones to mention that. Exactly, we saw that right here as bullet 3 in Claude as well. Create or join a local or online platform where households can exchange surplus food items before they spoil. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's super creative, but it's well formatted, easy to understand and easy to read, and everything makes sense. And lastly, Gemini. Gemini has smart fridge technology as number 1, inventory tracking, recipe suggestions, personalized reminders. Then number 2, food sharing platforms. Again, the community one. Neighborhood apps, food sharing hubs, community gardens. Oh, okay. Collaborate with neighbors to grow fresh produce and share the harvest. Okay, interesting. That's not even technology. Create food preservation techniques. Dehydrator, fermentation and pickling. Wow, I would say Gemini has a very good format. It's not long, it's clear, but still a lot of ideas in a short text. So in this case, I'm actually going to give Gemini 2 points, and Grok and ChatGPT get 1 point each, and Claude doesn't get any points because it's really not well formatted. Now we have Grok still in the lead with 5 points, ChatGPT and Gemini have 4 points each, and Claude has 3 points. Now let's look at the last task for this comparison, which is doing a creative task. And the prompt I'm going to give them is: compose a haiku about the moon using only words related to technology. So let's see what each of these 4 AIs does. Alright, here we have it. ChatGPT says, pixel glow above, silicon waves pulse through night, code in moonlight's trace. Interesting. Then we have Claude, which has silicon sphere glows, network of starlit pixels, quantum light pings soft. Interesting. And Grok has pixel screen reflects binary light, silicon moon data streams, night's code. And lastly, Gemini has pixel sphere, glowing bright in digital sky, binary moonlight. Alright, it's really hard for me to judge which one is more poetic, so for this I'm also going to award each of them 2 points since they all successfully completed what I asked of them. Alright, and finally we have our winner, which is Grok with 7 points. Then we have ChatGPT and Gemini following closely with 6 points, and Claude, which gets 5 points. And that's actually surprising because I'm using Claude more often than all of the others, but that just shows that each of them has different strengths and weaknesses, and in this particular case, Grok was able to perform slightly better. Anyways, hopefully this comparison gave you a bit of an idea how these models are similar but also slightly different from each other, and which one is the best fit for your needs. Alright, so knowing the strengths and weaknesses of these different AIs is great, but what might be even more important is to know how you can use these AI models most productively. And to help you with that, I created this playlist right here where I share 30 tips and tricks how you can get the most out of ChatGPT. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye!